Hi, welcome. My name is Celia. It's been a while. I wanted to do this during my lunch break, so it's kind of like a little improv video. Um, I this is less than half of my currently ink. I usually do 2 inks per day during the month. And I wanted to test it on some different papers. Some of them well, 3 of them I use weekly or daily, and the other 2 are new to me. The first paper is yu-sari, which is this notebook that I have here. And then the second one is the 2025 hobonichi paper, the 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. The third paper is the paper that I use for my school notes, which is just a Maruma notebook, Mnemosyne 60 GSM. The fourth paper I use on my ink log, and that is the Take a Note 68 GSM. This particular sample is from the 2024 because I just took a sheet from it. And then the last paper is new to me, and this is the iroful 75 GSM paper. I have somewhat good natural light right now because it's like the middle of the day, and I have a lamp here. It's giving like a weird shade. I'm gonna turn it off. I hope that's still good. Okay, so we're gonna get started with the first ink. This ink I already used, and I have learned that these pinks make me happy. I did ink it without the shimmer because this shimmer is insane. And I used the shimmer, this is Marlin from Van Diemen's. Another Van Diemen ink that I used that had the shimmer on it, it went everywhere. Just like literally like everywhere. I used it on my ink log, and I literally like ripped the paper out because it was just making a mess. So I'm gonna use it here just to see the shimmer on the papers, but it's not something that I love. So I'm gonna do something super simple. I'm not using any kind of tools. All I'm using is, or I am using one tool. I'm using this pen that I got from AliExpress, and I'm just gonna go ahead and be like super simple with it. And I'll show you the pen that I inked up just for reference, but it's not really the purpose of this video, even though that's what I'm gonna call it. So I'm just using the back of the pen and kind of going over with it. I really just want to see how the pens, or the inks behave on the paper more than like anything that has to do with like the pen that I'm using. I had been wanting to really start doing currently inks, but I guess I just merged the two ideas together. This is so much thicker on this paper. On the Take a Note, it went down super thick. I'm trying to see the differences, but I'll get, let me get closer right now. The only difference that I see is that it looks darker there, and then it went down like so much thicker. I don't know if you've noticed, but I did not put down the different papers with anything other than some washi, just because I do want to see on the back I have mentalized myself to like not think about the transfer on my journal, but and I've been pretty good about it, where it's like not stressing me out. But it does come to mind kind of like every now and then. I've already used these for the first 2 days of April. I only have a little bit of ink left. But this is on a TWSBI Eco. This is an extra fine. I messed with the nib significantly, and now it no longer writes like an extra fine. That's fine. I messed with it because I thought it was too dry. I love the aesthetic of the ecos, but I don't know about it anything else. So we're just gonna go for that. Like I said, I'm not too worried about the aesthetics of it, and I just want to see like how it goes down on the paper, or like what kind of effect, if you have any differences. I don't know if I should do anything different. I don't know. I'm gonna go over it with the pen a lot of times instead of doing those circles again. Okay, so the next ink that I have is Crab Nebula, and I have a sample of that here. The Marlin, I had a full bottle. This one I have a sample. I got it from like a Discord trade that I did. They got me so many like super nice green inks, and this one has a sheen to it. I did it backwards. Oh well. Let's see if I don't get stained. For my school notebook, I don't really care as much for the characteristics. I mostly use like darker inks. It is it is a rainbow of inks. It's not like this like aesthetic all black and highlights, and every day I use the same inks, or I don't even, yeah, it's just a mess. I try to make them fun in that sense. Like my school notes, I did end up making a mess. I inked the bottom part of the glass nib first, so, and then I didn't clean it. And now I'm just cleaning my mess. I forgot what I was saying. And I'm not gonna edit this video. I'm just gonna upload it. I stopped uploading because I was too worried about the editing, and it was just taking so long. I don't want that to be a barrier no longer. So you're gonna get a very, very organic video. I saw this interview, or like a piece of the interview on YouTube Shorts, about Benny Blanco talking about a session that he had with Ed Sheeran, and he said like he basically does everything in one take, so there's like imperfections of his songs, because it's not like other videos where they kind of like put pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces to make it perfect. And it kind of motivated me to be like, it's fine, it doesn't have to sound perfect, I don't have to be like striving towards that. It's more important for me to have some kind of connection with my hobby than try to appear perfect. Did not even say what what pen this is. This, I'm not even in frame. This is the Mnemosyne. I don't know what the color is called. This is also on a fine nib. I have been enjoying the Mnemosyne more than my Jinhao 10. I feel like at least in my experience, I only have this one. At least this nib is a little bit softer, or it's less rigid. Okay, the next pen is, I have no idea what pen this is. I got this pen and another one coming up from, I bought it online, and they didn't say what it was. I just know it's a Waterman. I'm pretty sure it's a steel nib. I did put it on a Facebook post to see if anyone could tell me what this is. So if you know what this is, let me know. It's a steel nib and it's pretty soft. I like it a lot. As far as like the width of it, it's not my preferred width, but it works fine. It works fine, and it's not like a pen that I'm like too worried about like losing or taking out with me like at work and stuff. So yeah, so far I like it. The nib is really good. The next ink that I have is, I put that wrong. That's that's not actually like well, this is April 1st and 2nd, 3, 4, 5, 6. I picked the wrong ink. I'm just gonna go with that one. I don't even know. I'll have to check my journal, but I'm pretty sure it's the right pen. Let me lift that a little bit. And if you hear a lot of cars, that's just the nature of where I live. My backyard leads to a main street. I am really curious to see how this ink is gonna behave, because I like these inks a lot, like the Manyo inks, but they really don't show up on a lot of papers. Like the characteristics are not very noticeable on all the papers. And I'm starting to learn that I like characteristics on my journaling, but not because I never like reread it. But on, I kind of want to do, sorry, it's out of focus there, or out of frame. I want to do this one on the bottom again, or add more ink, because I don't know if it's the paper or the ink. It just looks like it went down lighter. There. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I like special characteristics. Depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I don't enjoy it, especially if I have to reread it. I mean, I don't want to be reading something that has like a bunch of shading, because it makes it hard on my eyes. This is doing that same thing again. We're like on the oh, that was a take a note. It seems like this ink is going on. I don't know if it's maybe the pen. Oh yeah, it's for sure doing it on this one, on the take a note, where it's going down thicker. The same as it did with the Marilyn. The Marilyn is a super wet ink. Like I said, I don't love the shimmer on it, but if the way that I inked it without the shimmer, it's probably an ink that I'm gonna wanna come back to repeatedly. It made me super happy. It has like this kind of like outside the lettering shading that still allows me to read it pretty well, and it gives it like a an interesting characteristic. And then, like I said, this is my unknown Waterman. I call it vintage Waterman, and I have a medium and a fine, and I just call them like medium and fine vintage Waterman, but I don't even know if it's actually a vintage. I have no idea what. I'm debating if to do the second part on the same papers or to do different ones. I also use a traveler's notebook daily, so I don't have that paper here, but I don't really mess with too many inks. That's for my work. I usually just pick like a dark ink and just stick to it for like the whole week or 2 weeks or whatever I'm feeling. The next ink is, I am so what did I do? I know what I did. So here it's gonna be a combination. This is the wrong. I used the wrong pen. Here on the Crab Nebula, I used the Monarca ink when I used the pen, and it was supposed to be the Jin Hao 1919. So I'm just gonna add to it. Sorry. Yeah, I have two super similar inks. I do that sometimes because I like on the same month, because I want to see if like I can have a preferred ink. Like for example, I own a full bottle of the Monarca, but I only have a sample of the Crab Nebula. So I like inking them on the same month to see if like I would even like the color to purchase the other one in the future, or if I'm okay with like my current bottle. So far, I don't see any like standout differences on any of the papers. I think the interesting part is gonna be when we turn them around. To see how if they had any transfer. I mean, it's not like a scientific method where like I'm putting down the exact same amount of ink every time. Sometimes I notice myself even changing my mind from one use to the other, but I guess it's just a general idea. Okay, so the next ink is Monarca. This is Manglar, which you already saw the pen that I'm using. I forget where for that day, so I don't think I'll be writing it again. I don't know. I did think that it was interesting that like all these papers have different GSMs, so they're all the thickness of them are all different. I think I already said it in the beginning, but the first one is the yu-sari, and that has a 95. The second one is a 2025 hobonichi, which has DRP paper 52, and the third one is the fourth one, sorry. The third one is a Mnemosyne 80 GSM. The fourth one is Take a Note 68 GSM. And the fifth one is iroful 75 GSM. So all the thickness are different. I do really enjoy how thin the the hobonichi. I wanted to call it tomogichi. the hobonichi paper is, because it makes it very portable. But I'm not sure that moving forward I want to deal with the transfer of it. Even it's doing the same thing again, where on the take a note it's just going down thicker, then on the other one it's like being absorbed more. And I was using this one for my for my work journal. I used it for a few months last year, and then I stopped because I didn't like the way that it would fold on the corners. It's stupid. I'm still gonna do it with a pen just so that it looks kind of the same. But it's funny that you can't even tell the difference between the two colors on the top. The next ink and pen combination is, I actually have a full bottle of this, but I'm using a sample because I poured it in here for, I don't even remember why. I do like this pen and ink combination a lot, but I don't think I'm gonna be a Jinhao collector, a Jinhao 10 collector. The nib is really stiff, and I own enough entry-level pens that I don't feel like it's my preference, even if they're beautiful and convenient and affordable. So I think it's a market for a lot of people. It's just not for me. About this ink, I like it, but I don't think it's gonna be like, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really used it. I played with it a little bit, but I haven't fully used it on the pen. I do want to ink it on something medium, which I probably do on the same month. I'll probably just clean something out and re-ink this on something medium to kind of see if I grow more love for it. But it does, as beautiful as it is, it just doesn't feel unique. So nothing wrong with it. It just, I think I have other things in my collection that kind of feel duplicate for this ink for me. And then yeah, I have it on the Jinhao 10, what is it called? Like Orange Stream, I think. And I haven't had any issues with the drying part of this that a lot of people are having issues with. I mean, I hadn't used this pen in probably since I inked it up a week ago, and it wrote just fine. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it's the ink, maybe, I have no idea. Maybe it was how it was stored, or just the quality is different. Like, you might get lucky and get a really good one, and you might be unlucky and get a really bad one. I don't know. Okay, so the last pen is the other Waterman pen that I spoke about. Like I said, I don't know what model these are, but I mean, this is a really comfortable nib. The pen is but the nib itself it's really comfortable. This is also a sample that I had. I made some ink traits at the end of last year, beginning of this year, and I probably have enough ink for the whole year. So you're gonna see me use a lot of samples. I have been trying to slow down the purchasing speed for my inks. I think last year was very much an exploration, and there was a lot of excitement towards it. And then coming into 2025, there has been more of wanting to keep my collection under control, getting to know my inks, and kind of having a relationship with them more than acquiring more. So it doesn't mean that I won't be acquiring in the near future or in the future. It just means that I'm prioritizing, like I said, getting to know my inks and building a relationship with them. And like, I want to have a bottle of ink that I can be like, oh, it's this and it's that and it does this and does that. I don't want to have a bottle of ink and be like, oh yeah, I inked it up once 3 years ago or like 2 years ago or something crazy like that. But it did take me for me, my experience, like I did purchase a lot of ink last year, and then now I'm here, so I could guess technically change my mind later, or my experience or my wants or my needs could change. That's fine. So let's see where we are, and then we'll go back and see how it went. I really wanted to use like look at my hand. I really wanted to put a piece of paper for this paper too, because I did purchase some loose leaf yu-sari paper, but I didn't, and now I'm regretting it because I'm probably not gonna be able to use the back side of this. Let me see. Let me move back there. So that actually did really well. I could use the back of this paper no problem if I stop getting that page dirty with my fingers. This is really good. I don't have like an official full impression of this paper, but so far the thickness is very similar to, is it? No, not really. I was gonna say it was really similar to the Take a Note, but it's not. It's thicker. So this, how many pages is this notebook? So it's 96 sheets. I don't know math. I don't do math in my head that well, but I mean, it's like less than half a year. And it's basically like the size of a 6-month. Let me see if I have something else to compare it to. I don't have anything that would be helpful, I think, because I have my, oh, you know what I do? So this is the thickness of a, I'm just gonna close it. Let's hope everything's dried. This is the Hobonichi A6. It's thinner than that. can't find anything else to reference it with that's not like fat already. It's not like all with a lot of stuff in there. So I did make a mess there. That's fine. What was it? Oh, it was the to be expected. It was the hobonichi that had not dried. So that is the first ink. Again, is, sorry, I keep on moving the camera, or my phone better said. The first ink there, that's Marilyn from Van Diemen's. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And this is the Tomoe River paper. It's okay. It's like what we know that to be, but on all the other papers, it's better. And we already saw that there was no bleed through. And I would say like pretty good shading. Yeah, what is it called? I can't find the word. Whatever. There's no bleed through, and there's you can barely, I can't think of the word right now. You can't barely see the inks on the back, which means you can use the back page pretty comfortably, unless you don't want any, which with fountain pen inks, I think that's gonna be really hard to find. Yeah, none of them had any issues on the yu-sari paper, so I'm not gonna worry about that one. We saw that one, and then I'm just gonna focus on the bleed through for the other papers on the rest of the inks. So this second ink, which is all smeared there, this is the Crab Nebula, and I do want to see the sheen here. So you can see the sheen is the most noticeable. I don't know, you can probably only see it as darkness, but the sheen is the most noticeable on the Tomoe River paper, which is the second one. And then on the Take a Note, which are both TRP papers. Sorry about my shaking. I'm kind of letting it sit. And then you can't see it that well. And if I keep on, because I am recording with my phone, if I keep on touching it, it's gonna keep on shaking. But you can also see the sheen pretty well on the yu-sari paper, which I think it's like winning. Let me stop this so that I can make it shake and then restart it once it stops shaking. Okay, so that's better now. Yeah, so I don't know if you can really see there is sheen there, and then that's insane. So this is again the yu-sari, the Tomoe River or hobonichi paper. This is the Mnemosyne, which you can kind of see a little bit there. And then this is the Take a Note, which I think it was my least favorite paper here. You see how thick that line is? And then this last one is the iroful, which it seems like the colors appear lighter on this paper, and I don't see any sheen whatsoever. And then on the Sailor Manyo, so this one has like it's a chromo shader, and you can see the chromo shading pretty well there on this yu-sari paper. And then on the hobonichi, it's a lot better. You can see it better. You can see there, like it's like point out purple. This is kind of there, but this is really there. And then this is the Mnemosyne, which is the chromo shading is there, but not on the rating. And then this is the Take a Note paper, which I mean, it just looks darker, and the chromo shading is kind of there, definitely not on the rating. And then the iroful paper, yeah, you can definitely see the chroma shading there, not on the writing, but you can see it on the ink smear there. Try to see if there's... Okay. So moving forward to the Monarca. So this is kind of got shading characteristics, but no sheen from what I could tell here, or from the times that I've used it. This is again the yu-sari paper. You can see there are some shading. The writing is fine. I mean, the nib is pretty thin, and then it looks like a totally different color on the hobonichi paper, and also the shading seems to be more noticeable. This is the Mnemosyne. I would say this ink looks different on every paper, a little bit different. And then on the taker note, it's like super thick. And on the iroful is a lot of a lighter color. I don't know if you can see there. And then this is the unknown land, which is basically a caramel color. This is not fair because I made a mess of it. But this is again the yu-sari paper. You get a lot of like the special characteristic. It's really pretty here, and then they were more noticeable on the hobonichi paper. And then this is the Mnemosyne, the Mnemosyne paper. There is some shading there, but I don't think this paper has, I mean, it doesn't, if you want to show your characteristics, that's not the paper for you. And then this is the taker note, which again, like, you see how thick that looks? And then on the iroful paper, I mean, it just looks like a different ink altogether. Let me bring it back here so that you can see. There. So my verdict for now, like how I feel just based on this small sample of inks, is that it looks like the iroful and the 52 GSM Tomoe River paper do the best to show the characteristics. The taker note, it seems like it's being absorbed in a really weird way. And I mean, the yu-sari is still winning for me just because there was no breathe through. Let me see, I forgot to show you the back side of them. I guess we'll finish the comparison and then I'll go back to the back side. So this is the Yamaburo, the Pilot Yamaburo. Did I even say that earlier? This is the Pilot Yamaburo, and this one has some sheen. You can see the sheen there, kind of, maybe. I need to bring it up. Yeah, there's the sheen. So there's the sheen on yu-sari, and then the sheen is also noticeable on the Tomoe River paper. I think it's just the camera is not picking it up. But it's even noticeable here on the glass pen. And then it's almost not noticeable on the Mnemosyne. On the taker note, it is noticeable, but it's just, I mean, why is it absorbed like that? And on the iroful, that is, I mean, yeah, the sheen is there a little bit on that corner, but not really. Okay, so now for the transfer. So I think I already showed this one. There was no transfer there. This one's pretty bad. Is it called transfer? Now I'm doubting that word. This one's pretty bad for the Crab Nebula. Seems like all these did fine, but then this one, it's like this Mayo Koki, I don't know. yeah, the transfer is pretty bad there. And this is just me like making a mess with my fingers. This is not transfer. These two is just green ink from me being messy. But yeah, the transfer on the Mnemosyne and on the I guess it's more on the Mnemosyne, but it could have been my pen. Yeah, no, there's no transfer on the Tomoe River paper, just on the Mnemosyne. And then the next ink, this is Manglar, Monarca Manglar. Again, the transfer is on the Mnemosyne and on the Tomoe River paper, which is like really bad. This is kind of spotted, but that's really bad. Or the bleed through. It's called bleed through. Yeah, bleed through. For the dominant industry, again, the bleed through is pretty bad. For the dominant industry, unknown land. And the last one, yeah, I would say that's bleed through right there. It's so, let me see if I can like, so I basically got bleed through on all of the big swatches for the Tomoe River paper, and then I got some for the Mnemosyne, and I think the other two are fine. The other three papers were set. The yu-sari, the Take a Note, and the iroful papers were fine as far as. Oh, there seems like there was a little bit of, oh yeah, there was bleed through with the here. I would say there's like a dot there, and that's pretty bad. But yeah, for me, for my preferences, I need to really like write more. Like I need to write like a letter or like a full page or something on the yu-sari paper to see if this could possibly replace like what I would consider my favorite paper right now, because I've been really enjoying the bank paper lately. I like the feedback that it has. It has like I don't know, it has a really nice feedback for me. And I've heard that it's pretty similar to the iroful. But I also like how thick it is, the bank paper, which I don't have it here. I don't know if for part 2 I should do different papers or I should do the same and see how it behaves with the rest of the inks that I have for the month. But let me know what you would like to see for part 2. Hopefully it comes. I haven't uploaded in a while. So thank you. Bye.